Assalamualaikum. Do we have the green light to go on? Okay. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to everyone. My name is Michelle Tajuddin and I will be the host for today's session to officially launch the ASEAN Future Sustainability Leaders 2023 competition with the theme Living with Sustainability and Inclusiveness. We are very blessed that all of you are able to join us for this call to action. We are also proud to be the organizer for this year's competition and will be very optimistic about our commitment to integrate the Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs into our everyday lives as well as promote it to others. Ladies and gentlemen, our respected guests, the heat wave that we are experiencing across Southeast Asia now and other parts of the continent in recent weeks have been described as the worst heat wave in history. Almost on a daily basis, we hear of fatalities being reported as heat waves are expected to become more frequent and intense as climate change accelerates. People talk of the return of the El Nino phenomenon associated with warmer sea surface temperatures that are bound to bring about droughts and floods, all of which are already happening in unlikely places. Climate change is also forcing everything out, including species that were previously isolated. These species are now running into each other's path, increasing the risk of spreading viruses and other pathogens from one to another, fueling spillover effects that could accelerate the emergence of the next disease, or worse still, the next pandemic. And we know that our current health systems are not prepared for the dual burden of climate change and escalating pandemic risk. That is why we need to start to see the Sustainable Development Goals as a step in the right direction towards meaningful transformation that will boost our capacities and capabilities to face these challenging times. We need to see them as a precursor to creating stronger institutions, building smarter partnerships, empowering communities, and inculcating the innovative thinking that could turn our societies into sustainable and inclusive systems. But unfortunately, we are far from getting it right. Just look around us and we can still see that many are still not aware of the SDGs and very few really understand how to implement them, which brings us to why we at UNITA are very committed to organize this competition to ensure that the young generation is exposed to the importance of SDGs, who would grow up enjoying the right principles and living a more informed life. As a university, we know the importance of knowledge and its impact on society. We teach our students to stand up to what is right and to fight for moral reasons. We need to pass laws and strike down laws for moral reasons too. We need to wage war on poverty, not on poor people. We need to sacrifice and care about our neighbors. We need to focus on building great big things that benefit the most people out there. We should also make technological advances to manage physiological and mental health, ensure economic growth, curb social illnesses, and not focus so much on AI chatbots that are atrophying human intelligence. We should aspire to intelligence and not belittling it. Most importantly, we need to realize that we can only do this right if we are better informed and become more knowledgeable. People say that the first step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. Well, I can tell you for sure that we do have a problem when it comes to living a sustainable and inclusive life today. Dear respected guests, this competition that we are organizing shall invite students in schools, colleges, and universities around ASEAN region to discuss matters relating to the social, economic, and environmental issues highlighted by the SDGs. The first round will take place nationally, and the winners will represent their respective countries into the second round, which will pit national winners against each other for the coveted title of ASEAN Future Sustainable Leaders Champion. This competition is also aimed at fostering the spirit of teamwork, inculcating leadership talents among the younger generation, while providing exposure to everyone on the significance of social, economic, and environmental sustainability. With the right kinds of effort and support from various parties, we hope that we can live in a world that promotes equality, safety, and happiness. Ladies and gentlemen, in our quest to begin this journey, we are fortunate to be in the company of greatness today. To start the ball rolling, we have Puan Frida Razali, who is the Senior Manager of Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Corporation, or MGTC, to deliver the keynote address. This shall be followed by the special speech by the President of AAEW, or ASEAN Accounting Education Work Group, which is Professor Dr. Rozainun binti Abdul Aziz, who is also the Dean of Faculty of Business at our university. Then we will get ready for the officiating speech and the official launching of the competition by our Vice Chancellor, Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Sri Engineer Dr. Sahul Hamid bin Abu Bakar. Of course, afterwards, we will hear from our Malaysian film actress, TV host, model, and singer, who is actually our guest speaker today, Miss Maya Karin, about her own account of being a sustainability advocate. And then we'll be having a question and answer session afterwards. But before we begin, please allow me to brief everyone on our housekeeping rules. Please be aware that during the conduct of our session today, microphones should be on mute. The video should actually be off during the entire session. The session will be recorded. The question and answer session will require that questions be typed in the chat box. Preferably, the person asking the question should also identify to whom the question is actually being addressed to. And throughout the conduct of the session, for those who will seek to find more information about the competition, you can actually refer to the crawler at the bottom of this page in order for you to be able to get more information about the competition. Okay. Before we begin, anyway, let's spare our precious time for the doa recitation, which will be done by our own Tuan Haji Said Munir Barakabah. So, Tuan Haji, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Before we start, we need to start with the Al-Fatiha. Al-Fatiha, A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Ya Allah, Ya Rahim. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Peace and blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, and for those who followed his example till the judgment day. Allahumma ya Allah, on this blessed afternoon, in conjunction with the launching of national level for ASEAN Future Sustainable Leaders Competition 2023, we beseech thee and grateful towards you in favor of all the infinite blessing to us, your humble servant, to live in safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessing for the flawless progress of this competition from the beginning till the end. We seek your guidance to steer clear of competition that would be detrimental to the progress of this event. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide Unitar International University to greatness peace, glory, and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Make us responsible intellectuals, granted us with valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your Madatullah. Make us your righteous servant that followed your commands and neglect the sinful act. Allahumma ya Hafizul ya Raqib, you are the most forgiving and one who loves forgiving. Therefore, forgive us and wish all the committee of the ASEAN Future Sustainable Leaders Competition 2023 a very pleasant and productive one and a memorable event that would be held in the future. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك عزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you very much, Tuan Haji. Next, without further delay, I think we can start with our first session. Let's invite Puan Frida Razali from MGTC to deliver her keynote speech. And for your information, MGTC is actually an agency under the Ministry of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change, which is mandated to drive the country in the scope of green growth, climate change mitigation, and green lifestyle. Let's welcome Puan Frida to the floor.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be part of your program today. So let me quickly start with my presentation. So there'll be three parts to what I'll be sharing. First is on the SDG in Malaysia. It's just very general because I've been given about 10 minutes to to speak here today. And the second area that I'll be speaking about is the MGTC, Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Corporation. This is the agency, the government agency, which I am working in as the head of senior manager of sustainable industry. So the third part of my presentation would be to give some ideas to the students, participants who will be joining this competition. So what is the Sustainable Development Goals? I would like to have the assistance from the MC to play the video on the explanation of the Sustainable Development Goal, which is being produced by United Nations.
Did you know that the UN Sustainable Development Goals are a universal call to action that unites 193 countries around the world? If these global goals are fulfilled by 2030, life on Earth will be better for everyone. So, what are these goals? Eliminate poverty in all its forms. No hunger. Everyone should have safe, nutritious, and sufficient food. Everyone has equal access to healthcare, thus ensuring our well-being and a healthy life. Equal access to a quality education. Ensure gender equality where women and girls have the same opportunities as men and boys. By achieving these goals, each member of our society will be equal, safe, and happy. UN global goals also include access to safe drinking water and sanitation, access to clean energy that is safe for people and the environment, sustainable and stable economic growth. Everyone has a decent job, strong infrastructure, and the support of innovations. Lower inequality within and among countries. Cities and settlements be developed without damaging the environment and people. Achieving these goals will result in the well-being of people and our planet. We can further take care of our environment with the following goals: sustainable and safe production and consumption of products. Take urgent measures to reduce climate change and its impact. Ensure the sustainable use and protection of ocean and sea resources. Restore and protect Earth's ecosystems. By achieving these goals, we will form a society where strong institutions ensure peace and justice. It is important for everyone to be involved and to build partnerships for achieving sustainable development goals. You are part of this process. Demand the implementation of these goals. Take the lead and share information with your friends.
thank you for that video playing. So you can watch that video again on this United Nations website. I have the link here if you wish to play that video again. So in summary, I'm sure most of us know what these 17 SDGs is extensive. I won't go through in detail, but in general, sustainable development is helping to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, with the three core focus on economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection. So a little bit about what is SDG here in Malaysia. How are we doing actually? Is there an SDG happening here in Malaysia? Yes, actually, Malaysia have already committed to the SDG goals in 2015, along with 192 other United Nations member states. And for information, there is a National SDG Council here in Malaysia that their objective is more of governing the responsibility, the endorsing and monitoring of the implementation of SDGs in Malaysia and how it's progressing towards the 2030 agenda. Of course, there's also the Sustainable Development Goal Roadmap for Malaysia. They have already developed that. There's a phase one, if you can see the picture here, 2016 to 2020. So there are actually 3 phases. So this roadmap provides a clear guide on how the nation, organizations, ministries, industries can actually execute the agenda as the SDGs within the 3 phases. So it's a good document to read before you embark in deciding what solutions that you wish to address. If you don't know where to begin, these are some interesting documents to read. There's also the Malaysia SDG Voluntary National Review 2017 and 2021. So there's some case studies in there as well. So you can obtain these, they're free, and you can download it from the Ministry of Economy, Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM or DOSM, very well known. So you can get a lot of information from that particular website on our SDG in Malaysia. Of course, there's always key issues and challenges happening when you're trying to implement SDGs in any nation. The issue has always been the understanding of the different SDGs. It means different things to different people, but the good thing is the SDGs have its own indicators. There's also the challenge of coordination. DOSM, the OSM, is the main entity that coordinates from getting all this information from different agencies, institutions, even NGOs and organizations. So there's a lot of coordination needed, but there's always some that will go missing, in the event that we coordinate this, stakeholder engagement, the workshops. So there is a multi-stakeholder coordination involved here. Localization of the SDG is another challenge. Some of the SDGs presented, explained internationally, globally, may or may not apply here in Malaysia. So how do you localize it? So in Malaysia, what we do is we have the governing body, the council, and then we cascade it down to the local authorities, the states, to implement the SDGs. Another issue is on the financing, as a lot of implementation projects require funds. So how do we get the funds out to those who need to implement them? So another area that's a challenge is the data. Some agencies, ministries, entities may or may not have the data. There's a data gap as well. Not only just data, but some data is in a different format. So reporting requirement could be different for different agencies, ministries, or corporations and entities. But DOSM would be the one compiling all the data information and presenting it and submitting it to United Nations. Okay, so a little bit about MGTC. It's a government agency under the Ministry of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change, and we're mandated to drive the country in the scope of green growth, climate change mitigation, and green lifestyle. So we are guided by these 3 national policies: NGTP, National Green Technology Policy, National Climate Change Policy, and the Green Technology Master Plan. So all these documents you can also read up on our website, mgtc.gov.my, or you can follow us on our mgtc.my, Instagram, and Facebook. If you can see the picture here of the building, this is our office in Bandar Baru, Bani, Selangor. It's a green energy office. So we welcome students to write to us if they wish to come and visit our office building to know more about sustainable building. For MGTC, this is our strategy house. We have this vision to lead our partners towards green growth and climate action. If you can see the strategic objectives that we have, the different SDGs. So we're very much aligned to the UN SDGs, and we have our different departments, groups within the organization that focus on sustainable consumption production, private and government green procurement, financing incentives. We also have organizations on the investment and commercialization. And also we have our International Green Tech Eco Products exhibition to help organizations to go to the market and promote their products and services. If you look at the center column, advanced climate change, we have engagement with cities, local authorities, and also industries, and we help them to connect with all the different parties, especially if we have this department that looks into new technology development. We have a team that looks into hydrogen technology. So that is the way forward. We have started a long time ago on electric vehicles, but now, and also solar panels, and that's already in abundance. And the next would be hydrogen technology. Yeah, and the department I'm in, the Climate Action Group, we also do GHG, greenhouse gas advisory and consultation to industries. And if you look at the third column, we also have the Sustainable Community team that engage with the community and promote and educate public on climate change and green technology. We also have our training arm, the Green Academy, that help upskill and reskill individuals. We do a lot of engagement with the community as well. So looking at the 17 SDG, I would like to share a few ideas. I'm not going to focus on all, but on certain SDGs 6, 11, 12, and 13, which is very much relevant to what MGTC is doing. So I hope this would give some help to the students who will be interested to join this competition. This couple, Robert Young and Yu Min, they actually started creating this. They innovated, they developed a portable water filter to provide clean water to the indigenous community or Orang Asli in Malaysia. So they started, the idea came by from Yumin, the wife, who was ironing, and she had this idea from spraying the water spray from to spray the clothes. So she decided, why not we have use a very simple technology. What they did was they used a mineral water bottle, and then they fill the dirty water inside there, and they have a special membrane and just the bicycle pump to pump the water in. So it's very low tech. You don't need any electricity. So they are able to provide clean water to the indigenous community. They've been doing this for many years. You can look up about this couple. They have this product called Affinity Easy Water Filter Cap. If you are familiar, Robert Young, the gentleman here, he's one of Malaysia's innovators. Yeah, he loves to invent things. So if you Google about him, you can read out about all the inventions that he has created. So this is one way that he is helping to create an impact to the community, to the indigenous community, how he provides for himself, basically through seed funding and grants, competition, prize winnings, and also he engaged with a corporate organization as part of their CSR effort. So if you can see, it's a low technology, it's affordable, and it's easy to carry around. I think it's less than 200 ringgit. Another idea, if you look at sustainable cities and communities, SDG 11, the picture at the top part here is Mizan Home 2018. This was developed by a university here in Negeri Sembilan. They competed in Dubai. See, you can have a very sustainable home, but the cost to actually make it can be very expensive. We've also heard about this young designer who won $10 million US to build a coconut-inspired Airbnb. So I was told that he's actually having to build it already, this coconut home. So how much does it cost? I'm sure it's pretty high, expensive, yeah? So if we look at sustainable cities and communities, who do we want to create the impact? Do we really need to have a very high-end, classy home? Or should just we have a stilt houses? Just go back to the basics, how it used to be. I believe that houses which are prone to flooding should just be built using stilts so that you can have your boat down there. How about a houseboat? That's another solution that can address the flooding that's occurring here in most of the cities. So the important thing for students to remember is the concept. And you can have really grand concept, but the reality is how can you actually implement it, and is it affordable to do that? And the practicality of living in such a home, yeah, and the sustainability aspect as well. For the SDG 11, another areas to look into is on the urban farming. We keep hearing about urban farming during the MCO. A lot of communities, individuals are turning into farmers at home, planting vegetables. Yes, this is a good idea, but how are you going to scale this up? How are you going to look into the logistic aspect of it? If you have the vegetables, who are you going to sell it or give it to? So how are you going to impact the community? Urban farming, we've read a lot of it in the newspaper. There's impact to having this solution for the community. It does help them, especially on the food security and income generation. The photo at the bottom here, on the candles here, just to share with you one of the competitions that I've already helped another organization complete. What they did, this is one of the winners. So they use glass jars, they collect all these used glass jars, and then they use used cooking oil and then turn it into candles. They're scented candles. So they were able to provide income generation to the students. These are B40 students up north in Kedah, and these students are the ones who make the candles for them, and they get income from making and selling this. So it has that impact to the community environment and income generation to the community. Another idea on the responsible consumption and production, there was another competition that, this was the one that I did recently, looking into waste. How do you reduce waste consumption? I've always advocate on looking into the waste hierarchy: reduce, reuse, repair, recycle, recover, and dispose. But we always talk about recycle and all, and everything below that. However, let's shift to look into reducing our waste consumption by using less material in our design and manufacture, keeping the products longer, using less hazardous materials. So ask yourself, how many of you carry tiffin carriers, reusable coffee cups, and tote bags when you go out shopping or dining at the restaurants? Some other ideas on this reusing would be reusing your whole items or spare parts. There was one company that I was reading. They actually have containers. They work together with F&B industry. So their particular restaurant will use that containers for their food, and then they will deliver it to the customer. So once the customer finish with their food, the company that provides a container will collect from them. So it's a great idea. It's already been done in other countries. How feasible is that here in Malaysia? Another idea would be on the repairing existing equipment and items, the throwing away culture. We don't really have many companies that does refurbishing or repairing electrical equipments, for example. However, there's this organization, NGO called Zero Waste Malaysia. They have a map that will tell you where you can find places where you can repair your equipment, or where you can recycle your waste. So look into different ways of strategy when you look at responsible consumption and production, and not just recycling. This one on climate action. So the question would be, can nature provide the solution to our climate change problem? The answer is yes. So if you are not familiar with this, there's this solution called nature-based. The types of nature-based solutions that are currently being applied in flood-prone cities, for example, the plantation of mangroves, having more coral reefs, creating more urban green spaces. So if you look at this picture, there's a lot of ways that we can help reduce flood, in our cities. So this is one aspect. So there's a source, this website, you can have a look. There's a good reading about it. So consider not just green technology, but consider nature-based solution to solve the problem that you want to address. Another one is, this is the final one. If you're not familiar with this, is the energy pyramid. You have the tier 1, energy conservation, energy efficiency, and renewable energy. So I've always advocate that we should adopt a tiered approach to reducing our energy consumption and carbon emission, which is starting with ourselves, the behavior, and the operational practices. So switch off the lights when you don't need it. Then later, when you change the behavior of the people in your home or in your office, your community, to help reduce energy energy consumption, you can actually reduce between 3 to 5% of energy. And then you start looking into buying equipment that is 4 or 5-star energy efficient equipment, which will cost a bit more. And the top part is a tier 3, which is shifting towards using renewable energy, for example, like solar. So parting words to the participants, I would definitely let you know that find out what are the issues that you or the people around you are facing, understand the problem, and talk to the people on the ground, because that's how the best way you could actually know what kind of solution that you can provide to them. So look for the gaps, do your own market research, and this one I would definitely advocate, always test your idea. It's good to have everything on concept and paper, but do you think it's implementable? Can you implement that particular idea of yours? It could be financial constraint, or it could be other aspect, community acceptance. So do a pilot to address the issues, to do a pilot of your project so you can address any arising issues, and develop your pitching slide and practice. Always practice your presentation, because that would definitely help you in winning your competition, I'm sure. And the last one is be flexible. There's always a solution to every problem. Most of the competitions participants that I engage with, they have a stumbling block when they do their market research or when they test the idea. But I would say continue to persevere and be flexible with your ideas and solutions. All right, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Puan Frida, for the enlightening coverage of what MGTC is doing. I never could have imagined that your agency is actually going to provide those kind of services, those kind of monitoring as well. And I'm glad that we brought you in, because I can definitely assure the students who will be joining our sessions later, during the competition, they can actually learn a lot from what you have just presented just now. Well, to a certain extent, it is as if you are trying to encourage our students to get on with their own startups, companies, and so on. All right. So, which is good. Try to inculcate the entrepreneurship spirit among the young generations and so on. And we really look forward to, getting on with this kind of, I think, the stepping stone. Our students, our younger generation, they need the stepping stone. Okay. Thanks a lot again, Puan Frida. So we'll get back to you later on. All right. So
Sure.
For now, let's give the floor to Professor Dr. Rosainon Abdul Aziz for her special speech about the competition that we will be organizing. And we hope that she can also brief all of us about the traditions behind the establishment of this competition over the years. The floor is yours, Professor.
Okay, thank you, Amisha. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Sri Insinyur Dr. Sahul Hamid bin Abu Bakar, Vice Chancellor of UNITA International University, yang dihormati Puan Frida Razali, Senior Manager Sustainable Industry Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Corporation, MGTC, yang dihormati Ms. Maya Karin Roch, Malaysian actress and environmental advocate, Mr. Badri Abdullah, Director of Industry Partnership UNITA, AFSL 2023 Project Manager, and the Organizing Committee Team Lead, Dr. Shafika Raimi, respected guests, AAEWS co-members, esteemed industry partners, academic institution representatives, school representatives, academicians, colleagues, organizing committee members, students, and future participants, everyone today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and selamat sejahtera. A very good day to all. Thank you, Tan Sri, and everyone for your presence here today in this special occasion and in an event where we can recognize and advocate the better move towards better sustainability, an agenda long been professed around the globe. And we are all aware that in diversity, the 17 SDGs are priorities for all of us in all our different backgrounds. So standing here today, I wear two hats as the president of AAEW, which is ASEAN Accounting Educators Work Group, and the Dean of the Faculty of Business for UNITA. It was on April 21st, 2015 in Bandung, Indonesia, that 5 ASEAN universities comprising of Universitas Pajajaran, University Technology Mara, Malaysia, De La Salle University, Philippines, National University of Singapore, and Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, Vietnam, established the ASEAN Accounting Educators Work Group as a non-profit voluntary organization. In AAEW, our members are mainly from the accounting background. It is a core component of any business, a lifeblood for every organization. It is essential for universities then to contribute to produce towards competent and professional accountants that would provide to the nation's progress, even in the light of technology development, digitalization. Accountants are definitely not obsolete. And at the faculty in UNITA, we drive business-related programs to offer in terms of talents for the country's economic development. And to be in line with industry needs and technology advancement, both our aim in AAEW and FOB UNITA, it is to improve not just the accounting education, but the business fraternity at large in ASEAN by strengthening universities' cooperation and relations within the ASEAN region. And as part of our agenda to enhance interdisciplinary knowledge and sharing and collaboration, we want to develop champions. And these are the successes for us, for the country, of sustainability amongst the students. And as the president of AAEW and Dean for Faculty of Business, I'm honored to bring you the ASEAN Future Sustainable Leaders, AFSL Online Case Competition 2023. And AFSL is an online case competition designed with the aim to raise awareness, to discover, to educate students about sustainability and the SDGs. And this is defined in the United Nations Agenda 2030. So the competition also intends to mobilize young talents and give an ear to innovative ideas and thoughts in support of the SDGs. So I'm sure we all heard just now from Puan Frida of what would be the ideas and what would be the cases that we can work on. Thank you, Puan Frida, for the enlightenment. And ladies and gentlemen, Tan Sri, the competition aims to train and nurture young leaders of ASEAN countries to play a more active role in bringing positive impact to society through innovative solutions that could foster sustainability and help create a world that is built to last. And for AAEW and our partner UNITA, we believe in empowering youth to become leaders for a better world. And this competition is indeed a fantastic opportunity to demonstrate creativity and the efforts from the audience, from the younger generation to a larger audience, and be rewarded for them. Whether you are focused on social, economic, education, health, or environmental issues, And especially if you are looking at how they are all connected, we invite you to accept our challenge and tell us what you can create, what you are doing to build a sustainable future. Last but not least, Tan Sri, thank you very much for your presence here today, and thank you for your support to have this AFSL 2023. And thank you to AFSL 2023 Project Manager and Lead, Dr. Shafika Raimi, and her dedicated team, Dr. Evina, DJ, Misher, everyone involved in the faculty, Mr. Badri, the Corporate Communications and Management of UNITA, Marketing and Branding Department, Mark, Janet, Nikki, Listener. Forgive me if I've not mentioned everyone's name, but so many people, so many staff here are supporting us. Of course, the IT department, facilities, and everyone here in UNITA for making this event a success. Thank you to AAEW Exco for this endorsement and trust in UNITA, in us, to host this AFSL 2023. We look forward to many participation coming from schools and also the universities, and I'm sure together we can make a difference. Let us heal the world, like how we can. I'm sure we know Michael Jackson's song, "For a Better Place," for you and for me and the entire human race. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Rozainun Abdul Aziz, for briefing and explaining to all of us about the rationale of conducting this competition. I think prior to hearing you out just now, we were still a bit skeptical about the whole thing, and then this is actually an eye-opening session, because now we know how it will actually contribute to the positive growth in the ecosystem, inshallah. All right. So now for the most integral part of our session today, let's invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor Emeritus Tan Sri Datuk Sri Insinyur Dr. Sahul Hamid bin Abu Bakar, to deliver his officiating speech before officially launching the competition. For your information, our Vice Chancellor has been a keen researcher in the areas of flood mitigation and weather forecasting throughout his academic life, and would surely be able to share his deep-rooted passion in these areas, parallel to the university's endeavor into this sustainability competition. The floor is yours, Tan Sri.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Puan Farida Rosali, Senior Manager in Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Corporation, MGTC, Prof. Dr. Rozainun binti Abdul Aziz, President of AAEW, ASEAN Accounting Education Work Group, Dean of Faculty of Business UNITA, Ms. Maya Karen, Environmental Advocate, and distinguished guests. Welcome to the launch of the 2023 Future ASEAN Sustainable Leaders Competition, also known as AFSL. This competition was established to provide a well-deserved spotlight to the younger generation of today. To make this possible, young leaders from universities, colleges, and schools will gather to have their skills tested through case studies related to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. With a mission to drive positive changes, participants are tested by showcasing their skills through several mediums, including a 5-minute video presentation, online pitching, and a question-answer sessions. Now, through AFSL 2023, universities and schools around the region will be able to showcase their exposure and involvement in the world of sustainability. It's a topic of many of us have been working on for the last decade, but the recent digital transformation pre and post COVID has accelerated the work being done. Through the hosting of AFSL 2023 competition, UNITA seeks to propel itself as a private tertiary institution that is committed towards positive environmental change and a sustainability hub for the ASEAN region. As an award-winning private university, UNITA seeks to accomplish the following objective through this case competition. Number one is to form a network for future regional collaborations that continuously develop platforms to take action for SDGs, to challenge and instill the spirit of competitiveness among the participants in leading the initiative towards a sustainable and impactful changes in society. And third, to provide a learning experience that propels participants towards appreciating the array of different cultural and community perspectives. I'm really looking forward to seeing Unitarians and students from across the ASEAN region to take this opportunity to showcase their innovative thinking and creativity. And most importantly, I would like to thank our honored guests for being with us today to kickstart an exciting competition. Your support and initiative in the area of sustainability creates a brighter future for the generations to come. With that, I would like to officially launch 2023's ASEAN Future Sustainable Leaders Case Competition. I wish the best of luck to all the participants with their radio submissions, and we look forward to hosting the finalists for the Malaysian national level and ASEAN level competitors at our main campus in Kelana Jaya, Selangor. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our beloved Vice Chancellor, for finally officially launching this much awaited event. Alhamdulillah, we are now set to go, and inshallah with our best capabilities, with the best of our capabilities and the support from our partners inside out, we will work hard and smart to make this a meaningful event for our institution, as well as for all the stakeholders involved in this event. Now we come to our next session, which is to invite our guest speaker, Ms. Maya Karin, and for her to share her experience juggling her hectic schedule with the responsibilities of being a sustainability advocate. For your information, she's been involved in various campaigns for the Malaysian Nature Society, the World Wildlife Fund, as well as the River of Life Outreach Project, just to name a few. She's also the ambassador for the government's recycling initiative and spokesperson for the Geological Institute of Malaysia. With great pleasure, let's welcome Ms. Maya Karin and let her share with us her sustainability journey so far. Ms. Maya? We were told that Ms. Maya Karin wouldn't be able to switch on her camera during our session today, but she was already in earlier. We'll wait for her to confirm. Smaya, are you there? Well, we can definitely, hold on. Okay. We'll wait for Miss Maya to join us, rejoin us again soon. All right. For the time being, I think we could probably do some Q&A session. Okay. We do have questions already lined up. Okay. I think we could probably start with Miss Frida. I think there have been a lot of curious guests as well as people who joined us today who wants to know about the current state of affairs when it comes to sustainability issues, particularly the objective of fulfilling SDGs, in particular about reporting and so on. Why has it been a situation where a lot of even big countries like the US, Russia, and Brazil lagging behind when it comes to their commitment to reporting for SDG goals and so on and so forth? When you also see the likes of, smaller countries from the African states who are also committed. Why do you see this disparity between these countries? And particularly when you talk about Nordic countries, they are particularly very in front when it comes to this, right? So why do we see these differences, these glaring differences between these countries? Can you perhaps share?
Well, based on my reading and what I've been watching on the news, I would sum it up with the leadership of the nation. If you see during the Trump administration, climate change was not the forefront agenda for America. For the Nordics, especially Norway, the European countries, they have they are the leaders that's governing the nation. They have the drive, the desire to make the change. That's why they are very open and they're advocates of accessibility and ensuring that they want to tackle climate change. They even have a green bank in Europe. So it all boils down to the leadership, the people that's governing and leading the nation. And also the industries, the corporations, the leaders in the corporations as well. So I would say that would be one of the key reasons whether a nation is moving or not moving in their SDG initiatives. Not just leadership, but there's also financial issues. If you're in developing countries, some lesser poorer countries, you might have funding issues. But I don't see that as one of the key reasons. Yeah, right. So at the end, it's always the people. It's a people issue.
Do you care to comment a bit about, how Malaysia would fare under the same circumstances?
Okay, for Malaysia, we have various focus. If you ask me, I'm from MGTC. SDG 13, climate action would be a key priority. Sustainable consumption would be a priority. If you ask people in the education industry, the Ministry of Education, it would be education aspect. So I would say all the 17 SG is very important to Malaysia. Of course, there are some indicators that's lagging. There are various factors. How I would say funding, data, accessibility, but there is this improvement, accessibility to technology. Because of the pandemic, we are ensuring that everyone has accessibility to technology. I would say year 2000, 2005, internet connection stability is very poor in the suburbs or even the rural areas. But because of the pandemic, a shift, there was a need to do this, to to make the shift to ensure that everyone is equipped with technology so they can do their business, their financing, their education, learn online. So the nation, our government actually pushed to ensure that technology, was being put forth, and then investment was made to ensure that technology, digitalization, and ensuring that communication is enhanced so that everyone will not be left behind.
Okay, thank you very much, Puan Frida. I think there will definitely be more questions later to Puan Frida, but now I think Ms. Maya Karin is already in the house. So let's invite our guest speaker to share with us her passion into sustainability and her journey so far. The floor is yours, Ms. Maya.
Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yes, crystal clear. Thank you.
Very well. First of all, good evening, good afternoon, everybody who is here listening. And I'm sorry that I cannot be there visually because I am overseas and I'm worried about the line. So I have prepared some pictures for my small 15-minute presentation just to slide in between. Can the admin maybe put in something already so that people don't feel like they're just talking to some white circle? Anyway, admin, if you can, oh, here something's happening. Okay. But anyway, good afternoon to everybody, and thank you kepada semua, to all of you who tuned in for this talk today. And as usual, I would say this is my 500th talk, possibly to different universities, students, children, and the young generation. Do you want to throw in a question immediately, or do I just go into a monologue? What do you want me to do?
I think we are okay with you explaining to us your journey so far. I think the graphics will actually be on in quite a while, but you can just go on. And,
okay. Well, as you all know, well, not all of you know, tapi, of course, I am a person of mixed parentage. So I am half Malaysian and half German. Kepada siapa-siapa yang tak berapa pasti lagi. I didn't get too much of my German genes, so I actually look quite Asian. Anyhow, what I wanted to say is my upbringing through my German side, and going to Germany once a year, every year, and being exposed to the environmental culture over there since I was young already. So, oh, there's me in an elephant. Ha ha ha. This is, at the elephant sanctuary in Malaysia. Okay, admin, you can slow down on the pictures. Jangan laju sangat. I tak boleh hantar 100 gambar. So I was brought up as a young child already with a lot of environmental awareness, sustainability awareness, and how things were done in Germany. And of course, as an expat child, I went to international school, and in international school, there is usually a little bit more an awareness program towards sustainability and conservation that from a young age, it starts at the age of 5 or 6 already. So when I came to Malaysia at the age of 17, I was a little bit sakit hati lah dengan especially pasar malam. Bila I lalu pasar malam tu macam penuh kotoran, as if a hurricane just came by, and after every pasar malam, it's like there's rubbish and plastic bags and everything on the floor everywhere. It's just it was disheartening for me. But 5 or 6 years later, after I gained a voice and I became a celebrity and the media paid attention to what I was saying, I decided to go on a mission to raise a voice towards nature, environment, and conservation and conversation actually. And I think I gained some good ground in those years. So I will still continue to do this forever and ever. And there are not that many voices in the entertainment industry regarding this subject. So But yeah, so far I feel like the response has been amazing. I've worked with 22,000 school children, so many different ministries, NGOs all over the place, from East Malaysia, West Malaysia, and just trying to raise awareness wherever I can. So, but I do, I mean, I acknowledge, and the thing is that sustainability and conservation, as in the SDG 17, and there are many factors that are all intertwined, whether it's anti-hunger or, education for all children, conservation, sustainability, and the welfare of all of us in the near future. It's all intertwined. It's all a big puzzle, like a big pizza, we have to put together. So anyway, I would like to ask actually, so sorry, my moderator. Moderator, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How many people are online at the moment? I can't see
Well,
from here.
I need to check. I can't see it either because it's controlled by the other team.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay.
mhm. So
Um,
I'll wait for them to report on the number of participants. Okay,
okay.
and then I'll brief.
All right, yeah, please do report. And I wish this platform had a bit more interactivity, so maybe people could ask me questions on the go as I'm talking about certain things, but it seems that I just have to keep talking, and then you have to talk to me too, ya. Jangan bagi I cakap je.
Well, if you would
But
want some
anyway,
correction
for
anyway.
anybody who is listening out there right now, and you as well, Malaysia is in the top 11 countries in the world with the highest biodiversity. Now, what is biodiversity? A lot of people are still confused about the word sustainability, conservation, and biodiversity. So, biodiversity adalah meaning we have the richest amount in flora and fauna on the square piece of land that we have. So in our country and our small little humble Malaysia, we have one of the highest biodiversity in the whole world. But we are losing it at a very fast rate, and we are letting it go at a very fast rate. And again, I have to be harsh with this sometimes. It's a lot to do with politics. Of course, there is corruption also involved that we cannot deny anymore because it is all over social media. And enforcement is always reporting illegal wildlife trading between Malaysia. Malaysia is a big hub for wildlife illegal trade. I don't know, I don't quite understand why, but our port, whether it's political or geographical, it is a very big hub to travel, to bring, even from Africa, it comes through to Malaysia and then sometimes then back up to Hong Kong and China. So it is, for me, I just keep talking about it because I'm not the expert in this field. I don't have a degree. I don't have any particular formal education about this. But I do know what is right and what is wrong. And I do know what is right for my country, and I'm very patriotic. Walaupun ya saya ni celuk Jerman, tak apa. And during World Cup tu memang I cheer on Germany, tapi itulah masalahnya Malaysia tak sampai World Cup. So I have to cheer on Germany. But I love Malaysia with all my heart, and I love everything about it, our food, our culture, our people, and then our biodiversity and everything that we have in natural richness. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Miss
You want
Maya.
to interject?
Yeah.
Come, yeah, ask me a question.
This is
There's a
actually
few
one.
questions that I'm supposed to answer, correct?
There are definitely a few questions. This is probably something that goes straight to our potential contestants later for the competition. What kind of message do you think would be the best coming from you, who is already a sustainability advocate, about what students at those different levels we are talking about, those in secondary schools, those in colleges, those in universities. What kind of project do you think you would want them to be inspired about?
What kind of projects do I think they would be inspired about? Well, it's many factors. The number one is purely is awareness of the importance of a healthy environment for everybody in any country. And it's important that governments put in enough infrastructure budget every year to make sure that everything is in good hands, whether it's urban or rural, jungle. We have the professionals who know all these things, but it's just really important for the government to accumulate all the information properly and put it into a very healthy program, and where there's no money lost or wasted, and we know what is needed for this community in Sabah, Sarawak, or the community in Kelantan, or the community in Kuala Lumpur. It differs. Okay, Carrie, come talk with me.
Okay.
Alah, macam malu pula, aduh.
So okay, all right. Now, you did mention earlier about how probably your involvement, it has a lot to do with the younger generation. You mentioned
Yes.
about the 22,000 school children all over
School
Malaysia.
children,
Yeah,
yeah.
we are new at this, and yet you have been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
Why do you think? I think, why do you choose this younger generation, this group of younger people, instead of
Well, they are our key generation. They are the ones, and unfortunately for them also, or for us, we are the ones that have to fix the problems that the older generation, or as they call it, the boomers, did to our planet over the last 30, 40 years. Malaysia is a very different place if you go, and even if you Google, sort of rainforest quantity or space, from 40, 50 years ago, what Malaysia was in terms of rainforest compared to now. Now we are very, very limited, and we are now only trying to save what we can save. And before this, though, the generation just took it for granted. That was the problem, environment was just taken for granted. Itu adalah masalah yang sangat besar. And I keep reminding people when I talk to people, remember, we are a country that is of many religions and many cultures and many beliefs, but don't we all believe that God created Earth and God created Bumi ini? And yet here we are, living from day to day, and wasting food, using up too much plastic, and just taking things for granted that our planet is going to survive us. You know what I mean? But
okay,
at
yeah,
some
yeah.
point, the Earth or planet is going to say, enough is enough. Sudah, cukup. But this is what we are perhaps seeing nowadays. The last 2 years, the issue of global warming has come up very strongly. Even though I already went to a conference in 2007 with Al Gore in Melbourne, Australia, to have a big discussion with all my Southeast Asian peers about global warming. And that was in 2007. And only now that with Greta Thunberg and everything, and it's the young generation that are starting to voice out. The older generation, of course, for them it's like, well, I'm sorry to say, but we have like, I only have 20 years more on this earth, so who cares, But for the younger generation, it is a big issue. In Malaysia, it is unusual for us to have rain every day, clockwork, every day, 3 p.m. in Kuala Lumpur, It's been like this for months, and that's never happened before. And we have so many floodings in Malaysia, and so many, and it's just by now, our government should be fully prepared for 3 to 4 floodings around the country at all times, and have everything ready, all evacuation or emergency systems ready. But we still kind of sometimes think, flood again, last flood again. Yes, by now I think we have a proper graph to say, yeah, it's going to be flooding in Kelantan, it's going to be flooding in Terengganu. Even Johor gets it. Okay, so next question. What was it again? Let me check my phone.
Okay, we happen to realize that we
Are we
also
running
have.
out of time already?
No, not for
Dear.
you. So
Well,
anyway, we have participants today coming from Hong Kong to listen to our
Oh,
session
is that
today.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. That's
And
great.
we have one particular question about you know, the differences between you and the rest. Okay, not everyone has the kind of clout that you have as a public figure and a celebrity.
Yes.
So how best can we as the ordinary people probably maneuver this issue about climate change and sustainability and all?
You know, as I say, a good thing is a good thing. It doesn't matter how small or big. It doesn't matter whether you give to charity to 50,000 children or 2 children. In the end, a good thing is a good thing. What's the most important is for the generation of me. So say 20, okay, I am a barangan skit, like, okay, I'm already in my early 40s. But for the listeners or students out there who are in your 20s and 30s and who are going to have families, and you know, you have your community and you have your direct family, which is your wife or your husband and your children, or your bigger community, your cousins, saudara mara, and your neighbors. But if you believe and if you understand the issue of sustainability and conservation, and if you believe in it and you want to do something, it's so easy to just affect 2 or 3 people. Like I said, where I am now is because of how my father brought me up, because of who I was when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. My father would send me from the house. Okay, here's the recycling. Go send kepada tong sampah, tong recycling too. You know, that was my chore. And then in the morning, at 7 in the morning, go and get bread. But you know, we have to bring our own carry bag to go and get bread in the morning. It's like dark, like totally dark, freezing cold. But and we bring our own bag to put in our bread. But in Malaysia, we are still at the market. Everyone goes without a carry bag. Everyone just puts everything in a plastic bag. Nobody cares. So it's a simple thing. You don't have to be a big celebrity or, you know, a professor at, you know, whatever university. But it's, to educate your children is already a huge thing. And so you have 3 or 4 children, you educate them about the dangers or of plastic, or um, how, you know, the ecosystem works and how water works and how why rain is important, or anything. It's a very small thing. You can affect the community so much by just talking to your neighbor who maybe throws out the cigarette out of the car, and then you say, "Ketuk pintu sekejap, like, excuse me, I think this is not so good," you know. And for us now in Malaysia, like in on the big picture, I am working with ministries and I'm working with big corporations. And I started on before PKP MCO, I was working on the tiger population. And we are now, the small groups are getting together again a little bit, asking, okay, where are we now? Where are we? We need to get together again. So that's the point. The point for sustainability conservation is for groups who are passionate to get together and work out a solution. The thing is, mankind, we are in this situation because we are very smart. We have a brain, and we developed for our own comfort. But then along the way, we forgot that there is a price to pay, and now we are paying it with a lot of plastic pollution in the ocean, with global warming going crazy, and the world leaders not knowing what to do anymore because it's almost too late. We're talking about 2% increase. We're already at 1.5, and I don't see any. I'm not trying to be negative, but we just have to try to do what we can. And if that means you save the longkang behind your house and you clean it up, that's good enough. We don't have to save the world. Nobody can save the world. But we have to work together. And all of you students listening to me now, please, all I know is everybody has an expertise in conservation. Everybody can contribute, no matter what industry you are at. No matter what, you can always be aware that plastic is bad, that air pollution sucks, that public transportation is better, anything. So it's not that hard for anyone to get involved. Ataupun when your friend says, tapau everything and everything is in a separate plastic box, then you just say, no, just put it all in one. Okay. So you save 4 plastic boxes. For instance, senang je sebenarnya, senang. Pergi pasar malam, you bawa lah bag sendiri. And your vegetables don't have to be in separate plastic bags. I mean, some are either it's carrots or cucumbers or salad or whatever. It all can be in one bag. There's no contamination. Use your brain,
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Probably one last question to Miss Maya. This is about the importance of storytelling. You know, we at the business school in UNITA, we study a lot of how businesses can actually get ahead, and then how to actually communicate the kind of success they have made, the kind of breakthrough innovation that they have achieved, and so on. And the power of storytelling is actually very pronounced. What is your take pertaining to this in regard to sharing our sustainability endeavor? Does storytelling has a role in probably getting more people out there to be aware of what we need to do and so on? Ms. Maya?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the only thing that I have been doing, which is storytelling. I don't go to people, I don't go to companies and universities with graphs and statistics. I go with my heart. So the thing is, kepada kepada semua pendengar-pendengar pada hari ini, macam dekat radio UNITA hari ini, what I have been doing for the last 15 to 18 years is purely to put forward my passion for the environment and sustainability and animals and everything that is good for us. Because I feel that when you are passionate about something in your heart, then you will do something about it. Nobody has to tell you. So what I have been trying to do is go to students, whether students or university kids, to just try and bring out the understanding of the importance of the ecosystem and our environment and get them to be passionate about it. Because once you are passionate about something, anything at all, we see this in any kind of hobby or whatever, whether it's fishing or whether it's religion or whether it's food or whether it's the environment, if you're passionate about it and you feel it in your heart, you do something about it to make it better. So this way too, I just want to instill the love of the environment and our Malaysian heritage to all our Malaysian kids and young generation. And then without me asking for it, they will do their own project. That's what I want, because I cannot run the whole thing. I bukannya menteri, I'm not a minister. I cannot run the environmental program of Malaysia, but what I can do is try and encourage the young people and the potential generation and who will go into the government at some point or go into the private sector at some point, whether they're engineers or whether they're doctors or they're purely specifically into zoology, for instance, that they will strive, do it, and take what it takes. But I have seen, truly, I have seen a big difference since I started in 2006 to now. Like 2006, even some media were wondering, like, what am I doing talking about anti-plastic bag? Now I have so many universities such as yours asking me to do talks and talk to the young kids and explain my vision and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And you are interested, and that's why you're inviting me. So shukr, alhamdulillah. I'm very, very happy about this, and I see a good trajectory for Malaysia. We can do this, but I need you guys, young folks, I need you guys to help me out. I
All
have
right.
started my own foundation, so I will start my own army soon. Please stay posted on my Instagram. So,
Okay.
and then,
All
are we
right.
done? 15 minutes over, right? I
Yeah,
think I
we're done.
overshot already, because
Thanks a
15
lot,
minutes
Ms.
to me
Maya.
is like nothing.
So
Okay.
we
Well,
learned a lot
inshallah,
from
there'll
you.
be another time to talk to you and the
Inshallah.
students.
And we appreciate your willingness to come on board and share your passion about this issue of sustainability with all of us. we definitely benefited a lot from the sharing session that you gave just now.
Absolutely.
So
Okay, so my final words is I
okay,
think
yeah,
for
go ahead.
sustainability and conservation, what we absolutely need is number one, passion, and number two, cooperation. We need to work together with all kinds of different parties, but whoever is passionate and believes in this and then can find a way for cooperation with ministries or schools, education, anything at all, but that's the key. Okay, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Thanks again to Ms. Maya Karin, our guest speaker for today. Do we still have any other question to probably be addressed to other speakers? Anything that could probably be addressed further before we probably call this a wrap? I'm afraid I did not actually report to Ms. Maya Karin just now pertaining to the number of participants who are online with us today. Anyone could probably bring out the details. It would probably be good for her team to know anyway. Well, if we don't have anything else, okay, I think it's been a great session where we have a lot of sharing between all the participants. Okay, and then that basically wraps up our event for today. It's been an engaging session, and I hope everyone has benefited from this session. Before we shift to second gear and get the competition running, on behalf of the university, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all of you who joined us today and to our special guests, Puan Frida, Prof. Dr. Zainon, and the VC, as well as Ms. Maya Karin and her team. Inshallah, we hope that all of you will be able to lend your continuous support to make this competition a success. We pray that the synergy will live through until the completion of this competition and beyond. Before we go, let's take a group photo. I think Lista will probably help us to put everything on the screen, on the stage. It's open for everyone. I think for those who are actually here, who have joined us, you can switch on your camera now so that we can have the whole participants. If not, then perhaps it's just the three of us. Okay, good. Listener? Okay. All right. Thanks, Michelle, and the whole team behind Maya Karin. So I think we're good to go. That's already a wrap. It's been great pleasure to be with all of you today. Thank you. Goodbye. Godspeed. Assalamualaikum and good day, everyone. This is Michelle Tajuddin signing off. Bye. Assalamualaikum.